Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Rosie here. Well, here we are again, guys. Well, the devs had one of their really cute Q&As that they like so much that they like to do every few chapters. Well, they do it every chapter, but you know what I'm trying to say. They have one of these fucking awful Q&As. And don't worry, guys. The casuals came out in droves. The casuals came out in droves to support these devs and just, oh, Demogorgon's getting a buff. They just were like fucking seals in the chat, bro. It's truly embarrassing. But these devs came on to prove that they don't care about the game, that they don't play the game, that they don't understand the game, and they know nothing about high-level gameplay once again. That's all they ever prove when they come on here, bruh. The game is in a truly wretched, horrendous state. It's just the worst it's ever been. And so, of course, Dave Richards, Matthew Cotier, nowhere to be found, bruh. The two big dogs at the behavior, nowhere to be found. Chinese overlords, nowhere to be found. No one's mentioned. No one's taking any responsibility for why it's so fucking bad. No one's saying anything about why it's bad. They're not telling us what happened. They're not telling us, sorry, the game's fucking awful. All they say is, well, we understand that this chapter had a few more bugs than normal, guys. So, we're sorry. We'll fix it. Awful. Well, I know that these things are a chore to sit through, and I sat through most of it. I compiled every question of importance, and I put it here. I compiled it into a video. This video is actually uploading right now with no commentary, so if you just want to watch what these assholes have to say without me cutting them off every few seconds, you do have that option. But like, I cut out all the bullshit. No Dwight and Dress, no teabag stats, no LGBTQ representation when, no archives, no bullshit. Everything that's here in this list is every question about the meta, every question about important perks, every question about character reworks, everything important is here. Okay? So who'd they send? Well, of course, we got Not Queen. Not Queen won the Community Manager of the Year, guys! Oh my god, she's Community Manager of the Year! She's so cool! Oh, Not Queen, ban me from the forums. Awful. And then, of course, you have meth head Almo up there in the top right. Creepy ass Ethan, bruh. I usually try to, be like, appearance doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't. Appearance does not matter. But, this man, look at him, bruh. How can you be like, yeah, I look good for a Dead by Daylight Q&A today? I definitely don't look like I just got fucking... I just snorted a whole bunch of meth. I definitely don't. I definitely don't look like I'm on drugs, bro. Dude, cut your hair. Cut your hair. Get a little Just for Men up in there. Come on, Ethan. Just clean yourself up, bro. Please present yourself in a fashionable way. Like, for fuck's sake, bro. I'm not big on that, but fuck, if I looked like him, I'd be mortified. I'd be fucking mortified, guys. Like, for real. Like, I'm not big on this shit. But look, Not Queen, she looks alright. She's not Queen. She's not attractive, but, she looks fine. She's obviously ready to, do something semi-professional. She's not wearing makeup, but you know what? That doesn't matter. Women don't have to wear makeup. And then McLean, he looks alright. He's in a goopy-looking Christmas sweater, but I'm sure that's behavior. They let you wear goopy little shit. I can see that happening. McLean, they look alright. But Ethan just looks like he doesn't give a shit. He looks like he doesn't want to be there. He never looks like, get him off. He's horrible. He is truly, truly awful. Disgusting. And then, of course, the last dev, like we just mentioned, McLean. McLean is the guy that understands high-level killer the most. He's a purple rank. He ranks 7, I believe, the last time I watched his stream. This man's alright. He knows, he has played killer. He understands the struggle more than these other guys do. He's not perfect. He's not fully competent, but he's more competent than the rest of these guys. He has played killer before. He understands what he's doing. So that man is the best dev at behavior. And so he's mostly spared from my wrath today, I'm sure. So without further ado, let's see these clowns get into the train wreck that is Chapter 18. Okay? So let's see what we have to work with today.
Can you show the results or stats of the Bloodlust experiment?
Bloodlust experiments first, okay? The Bloodlust experiment was a colossal waste of time. That was always my position. Let's see the devs prove me right.
So we don't have a fancy graph to show, but it's basically more or less the same one we show lately in the previous stream. Who's taken that one?
Well, I did find one thing when I was looking around in the numbers. The very first
That's not
thing
a Christmas
when I was
sweater.
looking
That's
at
like
it, I
a
was really curious,
planet
how
sweater.
did that weekend
That's
with
weird.
the Bloodlust compare to the weekend before? And there was like a 1 to 2% difference in kill rates. But just digging a little bit further, I actually realized that the real anomaly was the weekend I was looking at there, because Bloodlust weekend was actually very similar to other weekends in terms of kill rates. If anybody has a good fan theory as to why the weekend before the Bloodlust test weekend was like killier than average, please share. I would love to. Yeah, I would love to hear your theories.
Wasn't that the weekend of Free Weekend?
That
might be a theory.
If that's true, that would probably account for it.
Okay, so let's dig. Let's. I want to start with what he said at the end about Free Weekend accounting for extra kills. Okay, I've always said that bad players equals more kills, and when you get a series of new players coming in, that will trigger a higher kill rate, which will then feed into these awful dev stats that they throw out. Of course, not the ones where they actually exclusively throw in red rank, but when they throw out stats for all ranks, and then they say things like Survivor sacrifice and then escape this year. Y'all remember that post, the video I made about dev stats and why they don't mean anything, and they throw that out. This is a dev acknowledging that a free weekend is going to trigger a higher kill rate. Okay, so just keep that in mind. He understands that bad players equal more kills. That's the first thing I want to say about that. Second thing, the Bloodlust experiment, colossal failure. Okay, colossal, disgusting disappointment, colossal failure, a complete waste of time, money, and resources. Any killer main with a brain in their head can tell you that Bloodlust is trash, and Bloodlust is useless, okay? First of all, the best killers in the game, Spirit and Nurse, don't even use the fucking thing. That's how you know. That's the first thing you need to know, that the mechanic is bad entirely, because the best killers in the game don't need it and don't use it. Even some of the other characters, like Shitslinger, doesn't really use it. Like, a lot of these characters don't actually use it, okay? That's the first thing. Second thing, 45 seconds to get tier 3 Bloodlust. If you're relying on Bloodlust to win matches, you're not going to win a whole lot of matches. The gens will be popped, and they will be done before you can do anything about that. If Bloodlust is such a non-factor on a match, that's why I can't believe we actually went over it. If the map RNG decides to give a 4-man Swift busted setups, they beat you. Okay? It's either they're a 4-man Swift with... then they beat you, or they're not a 4-man Swift and they're a solo queue group and you beat them. It has nothing to do with Bloodlust. Nothing. 4-man Swift's going to give you problems no matter what the spawn looks like. It's going to give you trouble no matter what. But just like the point is, Bloodlust is such a non-factor, so we really wasted our time. We really wasted our time with this. I don't know how much money or resources we actually wasted just flicking on a switch to turn it off. Like, I really don't know, like, how much money was wasted. I will say we wasted time. The whole thing is still a complete failure and a waste of time. It told you nothing about the game. Zero.
Are there any steps being taken to reduce the grind?
Okay, question 2 is about the grind. Let's go over the grind right now, okay? The grind is truly horrendous, alright? The grind of this game is so filthy, okay? First of all, the very, very first problem is that not everything is good, okay? Not everything is good. So you could be spending, and you're getting garbage, okay? Just terrible fucking garbage, alright? Like, all you're really looking for in this game, let's take the twins as an example. They're the new character, right? The twins, they're predominantly looking for Ruin, Undying, Pop, Barbecue. That's probably their build, okay? That's a very standard killer build right now. Of course, everybody has other alternatives. Corrupt Intervention's always an option, but like, all in all, you're looking for maybe 10 perks total, and then the twins have 3 good add-ons. So you are looking for 13 things total, maybe. Discordance, you might be looking for maybe, I have Thrilling Tremors on my twins right now, because I don't have Barbecue. So, like, you're looking for, like, 10 perks, is the point. 10 perks, 3 add-ons for the twins, Toy Sword, and then the 2 that give Victor more movement speed. So you're looking for 13 things. The rest of it is terrible. And then there's 3 perk tiers for every perk. That makes every perk multiply by 3. So you're looking for just nonsense. And it's like that on everybody. Like, it's all just a crock of shit, okay? And then there's the prestiging. Like, if you want to prestige the character, then you have to do the whole thing again. Prestiging is just a colossal waste of time in and of itself. That's another thing that's just truly awful. Like, you sit here, a lot of the characters, like Demo, for instance, best add-ons are common. Why would you prestige him? Because so you can have your commons appear less in the Blood Web? I already made the mistake of prestiging him once. That was a terrible idea. Like, why would you want to make your best add-ons appear less? Prestiging is not only a waste of time on everybody, but on other characters, it is actively harmful. Just truly disgusting. Okay? And then the new killer drops in. You have to go through every fucking perk again. Perk tiers are abysmal. Those have got to go. There's too much bullshit. Alright? And they even imply in this very thing, they say, like, we don't want perk tiers to be, like, something that prevents you from, like, running something. We want the perk to be there. Just get rid of the entire concept then. And then the next thing, the blood points, just reduce the amount of BP. Commons should be 1,000, yellow 2, and it goes up from 1s by there. So that means the iridescence will be, like, what, 5,000? Green will be 3, purple 4, yeah. So, like, that will just save a bunch of fucking blood points, bruh. For real. Just truly awful. I also think there should be something called a new killer bonus that drops in. They drop 1 million BP into your account if you buy the new DLC. Every DLC should come with 1 million blood points for the new killer. I 100% believe. Like, there are so many things that they could do. I'm just sitting here spitballing at this point. Like, half of these ideas, I literally just came up with right now. These devs, slow as balls. They sit here and go, oh, well, we're bouncing a few ideas around, you know, we got some ideas, we can't really tell you what they are right now, but, you know, well, we got some ideas, we'll let you know at a later date. That's what they say. They don't even say, like, well, we've talked about this, communication is piss poor. Like, for a company, like I wish that I wish that the communication was good. Because they have all the tools in the world to have good communication. I've never played a game where they do Q&As like this, ever. They have all the tools in the world to have the best communication out of every development team in the entire world. And they just choose not to. They choose to be secretive. It's disgusting, and they should be ashamed of themselves. Alright, anyway, tell me about the ideas that you have kicking in your head that you're not going to tell us about.
We're aware that the grind is kind of nuts. It's not as nuts as it was when we shipped.
It's not like fuck you, Ethan. Like, he's sitting there like, well, it's not as bad as it was when the game shipped out, guys. So I don't know. It's not as bad as it once was. Like, bruh, how many times do I have to say this? If you open the door to your house and there's 14 pieces of dog shit just laying there, 14 of them, just smelly, disgusting, kind of wet in the middle, so it's like, oh, I can't pick that up, so you got to go get paper. It's just gross. They kind of wetted into the carpet a little bit. You know the dog shit I'm talking about, right? Well, let's say you go up and picked up 2 of those wet, slimy pieces of dog shit and put them outside. Am I supposed to just be like, wow, Ethan, you picked up 2 pieces of dog shit out of 14. Guess what? It still stinks to high heaven in my house, motherfucker. Fix it. The grind is still bad. Saying that it's not as bad as it used to be is a total cop-out answer. Ridiculous.
When our now departed economic designer let us have 2 perks per blood web, that helped a lot, but we know that there's still more work to be done. We have some ideas that we're working on, but there's nothing imminent, so I can't really discuss anything at this time. But do know
what you just heard is my biggest complaint with these things. They have these questions which we're all dying to know the answer to, and then they pretend that they're going to answer it, and they say, well, it's on the table, and then they don't say anything other than that. Like, why even address the question at all if you're just going to say, well, we can't tell you about this yet, but we're working on it. Bruh, and like, we're working on it. Like, bruh, remember the early game mechanic that you're still working on? I haven't heard shit about that since you announced it. It's been like 6 months since you announced that there's an early game mechanic to slow the survivors down early game. That's what this game has needed for years. For years. And, well, and all we were told about was we can't tell you much about it yet, but it's coming. It's been 6 months, and we've heard nothing. Don't pride yourself on communication when you don't tell us jack fucking shit. Terrible.
That we are aware, and there are plans in the works to address it.
All right, next question.
From Forum is asking, will Decisive Strike get a rework or a change?
Okay.
It's been
So let's go over the issues with DS before they answer the question. Just so the reason I do this is so you can understand, get more context to why these questions exist. Okay, before they answer, to see if they're in the ballpark about what's wrong. DS is often used as an invincibility shield. Okay, they get off the hook and then they go to the same they get off hook. They now have They now have 60 seconds where they can't be hooked again. So during that 60 seconds, they will abuse it by going to generators that are almost done, and you can't hook them. I mean, you can slug them, sure, but they'll encourage you to. Sometimes they bait grabs with it. They'll go to the generators, and you can't hook them, and then they'll be obnoxious, take hits, body block, and then they use it as a means to do stupid plays that they wouldn't do otherwise. That's the main point. That is the main point. So those people are bad. And then there's the problem where it's defined as an anti-tunneling perk, but you can still get hit by it after you hook 2 survivors. If you are going too fast as the killer, DS can start becoming a halt to your momentum, where it's like everybody in the game could potentially have the perk, so you can't pick any of them up. If you are doing too well, it's an anti-kill rush perk. The survivors have a kill rush perk for real. They have an anti-kill rush perk where if you're winning too fast, you can start getting hit by DSs and it'll stop your momentum dead in its tracks. Okay? And then, as Scott Junn already proved, 1 DS is like getting hit with 2 pops for the time. Even 1 DS kills about 45 seconds of momentum if the guy's actually good. That's 2 pop goes the weasel's worth of time. It's really, really bad. It's a really oppressive punishment for something that is debatably not avoidable. Or if you want to avoid it, you have to do stupid shit like slug. It's kind of stupid.
Ask a lot of times.
Yeah. It's definitely a contentious perk. I think it generates a lot of discussion. People who haven't been around since it came out might not know that this perk has already undergone quite a few iterations.
Yeah, because its first iteration almost killed the game.
I guess it's not perfect yet, so this is still something that we talk about fairly.
See, McLean, this is why I think McLean is the best dev. McLean has a firm understanding that this perk isn't finished yet. That's why I think he is... McLean should do these every single time. McLean should lead these. For real. I don't understand why Not Queen and Cotier lead these. McLean should lead these every single time. McLean, honestly, should do these by himself. He should do these by himself. For real. I think this, interaction, it's just so, first of all, nobody bounces off each other. There's no one has... I'm not saying have fun with it, but when they do try to have fun, it's often cringy. Like the Dwight Dress joke. It's I'd rather you just you're doing your jobs right now. You're not here to have fun. You're here to tell us what the fuck is going on. That's why I think these things would be done much more professionally if one person did them. I think McLean should be in charge of doing these every single time, because I think he is the smartest developer. I think he knows the most. I think he should read the answers that asshole provides, and okay, Penitus can't do it because Penitus is a condescending dick, so he's out. Nobody wants to see Cotier, so he's out. I think McLean is the one who leaves the least amount of bad taste in my mouth. I think he should do them every time. Or if you have to have Not Queen, I understand she's the community manager, so she's got lots of responsibilities. If you have to have her, it should be a one-on-one with Not Queen and McLean. Ethan, creepy-ass Olmo, should be done. He shouldn't be here. Penitus shouldn't ever be here. Dave Richards shouldn't be here. Dave Richards comes on, he tries to make jokes, and it's just bruh, shut up. It's just awful. Anyway.
Frequently, we don't have any conclusions to share about it. We would like to do something about the more abusive side of it. I think one of the things that gets people upset with Decisive Strike are players who use it as only kind of an invincibility shield to pester killers, perhaps more than intended. And then of course the other issue is people who view this perk as only an anti-tunneling measure and then feel that it's unfair that they'll get smacked by it by a survivor who's been doing lots of other things in the game, which should, in their mind, sort of tag it as clearly this person was not tunneled. They've done things in the game. I probably shouldn't be affected by Decisive Strike. So we're keeping all of that in mind, and we are discussing possible improvements for this perk.
Okay, see, that's the difference between, like, McLean and creepy-ass Ethan. He's like, all Ethan really said was, like, the grind is bad. That's all. Like, all Ethan said was, oh, we understand the grind's bad, we're talking about how to get rid of it. McLean focused in on specific problems. Like, when you really look at it, like, I'm not kissing McLean's ass. He didn't give us any information either. He said the same thing. We're discussing changes we could do with. But McLean highlighted why. McLean highlighted what some of the issues were when he gave his answer. Okay? McLean actually is like, okay, well, the reasons why we're talking about changing it are this, 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 and this. All Ethan said was, oh, grind's bad. Grind's a bit insane. Like, if McLean took Ethan's question, he probably would have said, okay, well, we perk tiers are a big issue. We have to spend more blood points on the same perk every single time. A lot of the offerings don't do anything. Like, so we should probably clean out some of the shit nobody's using. It's not that hard. We can clean out all that crap about there's a purple that increases luck. Get rid of that. Terrible. Like 7,000 points for an increase of luck stat that nobody runs. Like that's what. So this is the kind of stuff McLean would have said if he was answering. Like, there's just a bunch of crap in there that shouldn't be there. Perk tiers are being talked about. Like, that's what he would have said. He would be like, okay, so McLean is just much better at presenting and giving information. This guy is not an idiot. And that's, like, I don't understand why we let idiots do this panel.
Reverse Velocity from Forums is asking, are there any other killers that will be getting any changes soon?
Alright, here come the killers. Here come the killer changes, okay?
Well, we've already talked about Clown, and that Clown is going to be getting the next update.
Thank God for that. It only took us 2 years to convince you that Clown wasn't underrated, and that he needed some shit. It only took us 2 years to do that, bruh. Like, oh, I think Clown's underrated. You said that for 2 years. Now, you know what? Maybe that was a business measure where they were like, bro, we don't want to spend money on Clown right now. Like, maybe, like, that was just, like, he was trying. Like, I don't know. I don't know why I'm sticking up for Ethan. He's a piece of shit. But it took us 2 years to finally get these Clown changes that we wanted for a long, long time. So, let's see what the bright ideas they have next.
It's soon, but we haven't announced a release date for it yet. The Huntress is getting an add-on pass.
Huntress is getting an add-on overhaul. Check out my video about how to do that. I have a nice video up about how to buff the Huntress. Go ahead and click that. Ethan, please. Ethan, McLean, watch my video. I have good ideas.
The last killer remaining with an incorrect number of the different rarities.
Huntress is the last killer with an incorrect number of rarities. Myers. Did you just forget that Myers doesn't have add-on rarities that are in sync with everybody yet? Myers has like 6 yellows. I've overhauled him myself. I've looked at him myself. Myers does not have a correct number of add-ons for each tier. See, how are we supposed to, like, take this guy seriously on anything? He just proved he does. This guy just proved right now to you. The same guy that said Myers is in top half of performance and he's doing okay, just showed you that he knows nothing about Michael Myers. That's what he just showed you. He showed you that he does not play Myers. He showed you that he doesn't understand Myers' kit. He showed you that he doesn't know that Myers has 7 yellows. I don't know how many yellows Myers... Myers has more yellows than the other killers. Myers, he just proved to you that he does nothing about the game. What is he doing here? Like, if I was McLean, I would be cringing. Because McLean, I've seen McLean play Myers. I'm sure McLean just went, ooh, that's wrong. I'm sure he did. Terrible. This man needs fired. Okay, I said a while ago P-nitis was the biggest damage to the company. False. Ethan first. Get him out of there. So fucking bad. So bad.
Perks. Notably, she's only got 1 iridescent. We're going to take care of that. As usual, 2 releases after the twins ship, there will be an adjustment like we did with the Blight. Soon afterward, you know, in this release, there were a couple of Blight updates. I highly recommend trying the new Soul Chemical add-on. I had a lot of fun with that last night.
Okay, wait, you played the game? I would love to see that. If Ethan told me about an add-on, I'm definitely not trying it, because I'm sure it's awful. I'm sure it has nothing to do with turn rate, and I'm sure it's not as good as Compound 21. So fuck it. Even though Compound 21 is not good, I'm sure it's not the turn rate. I'm sure it's not as good as the one that speeds you up faster after everything. I'm sure that add-on is terrible.
Soul Chemical is a lot better than it reads on paper. It works.
It works exactly the way it should.
McLean has acknowledged that the add-on is probably bad. When I read that add-on, I'm sure I'm gonna think it's terrible.
But we can announce who's probably getting an update next.
Okay.
And that is Demogorgon.
Demogorgon.
Not...
Demogorgon's getting a buff. I have a nice video about how to buff the Demogorgon, by the way. Go ahead and McLean, watch my video. I have a video about how to buff the Demogorgon. It's really good. Watch it. It's really good.
It's going to be a major update. We're pretty happy with the idea of having Shred on one hand and the portals on the other hand. It's just going to be a fine-tuning pass and probably an add-on pass. Just check over a few things. But on the whole, his game...
Check over a few things. I hope you check over a lot of things because those add-ons are trash. Fucking useless, bruh. The Demogorgon has by far the most useless add-on kit in the game. He has one good add-on. One. I say by far, but the twins only have 3, so who am I kidding? But yeah, the Demogorgon has one good add-on. The rest are like fucking garbage. I mean, I guess the Iridescent's not too terrible, the Moss, but yeah, I hope you check over a lot of things, buddy.
Gameplay is working quite well. We just want to give him some extra power and tweak some things.
Nice.
I want to say that chat is not letting me down here. I can see all the
Demogorgon
in the chat, and I'm very happy.
Demogorgon! Oh, Demogorgon! Yeah, Demogorgon's so good, guys.
All right.
Demogorgon's getting buffed because he's a piece of fucking crap. All right, that's why he's getting buffed. His gameplay is not working. He has what, the second lowest kill rate behind Nurse, third lowest behind Well, which Nurse's kill rate doesn't mean anything because she's Nurse. Okay, she's hard. So, factoring Nurse out, I believe Plague is lowest kill rate, followed by Demogorgon. Is that right? Where's Plague's rework? Never mind. Fuck it. The point is that Demogorgon is getting a extra power buff because he sucks. Not because you're doing it for us. The character is trash. Okay? He's been trash since day 1. Fix him. Watch my video.
Should we tease about this other little thing that's here?
Yeah, go ahead, Louis.
This is not like a big killer rework or anything, but there are a couple of tweaks coming to the Wraith as well. I'm not even going to get too deep into it. I'll just leave the small tease of...
Watch my video about how to buff the Wraith.
True invisibility is something that may or may not be happening.
True invisibility. Wow, guys. You can true invisibility. Wow. That's really going to help the Wraith because... Spine Chill's still going to counter him, and then he still has to ring the bell. So true invisibility doesn't do anything for him, because his big counter Spine Chill still exists, and then he still has to ring the fucking bell, so you still have to run Bone Clapper or the Iridescent every single game. Wow, my cock is so teased, McLean. It is so teased. How about you, you want me to get excited for some race changes? There's a 19-minute video on my channel about how to fix them. That'd be nice. How about you, check that video out.
I'll just let you guys chew on that one.
Oh, I'm chewing, buddy.
God.
I'm chewing it like it's tobacco and then spitting it out. Much like Ethan does, I'm sure.
It is. It's starting.
Awful.
All right.
Very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Okay, I'm sure Clown's about to get reworked. He's probably going to be a mid-tier when it's all said and done. Okay, Demogorgon's probably going to... The Demogorgon they're happy with. They said they're happy with him for the most part, and they're only going to give him some minor tweaks. So I'm sure what that means is Demogorgon's still going to be low tier. So Clown's probably about to go up to a mid tier because he's getting a nice Freddy buff. I'm calling it a Freddy buff. So every killer that has gotten a Freddy buff is at least mid tier now. Doctor, Bubba. So Clown getting the next Freddy buff is going to put him in mid tier, I'm sure, possibly even high tier, because Bubba's teetering on high tier as well. Okay, Demogorgon. The fact that the devs are happy with Demogorgon means he's not going up very much because he's not getting the Freddy buff. He's going to get a quality of life update, which means he's going to be stuck in mid still. Clown might even become a high tier after he gets buffed. Demo, that's not going to happen. The Wraith, the Wraith, forget about it. Wraith has a better chance of hitting the Powerball than becoming a high tier. For real. I just played the Wraith against like a 4-man Swift today. Guess how that went? Awful.
A point. Will there be more changes to Twins besides those announced?
Speaking of characters that have no hope in hell, the Twins, everybody.
Usual, on the next killer release, we will do a revisit of the Twins. We have to give them...
Revisit of the Twins, implying that they're done. Bruh, the Twins aren't even done yet. How are you going to revisit what's done? When we slowing down, everybody? When we giving... I can't believe not one person asked about a health patch for the game.
A couple months of playtime for people to learn how they work, for survivors to adjust for their play styles, and give a little time for a couple of iterations of people and players figuring out how these things work before we can make informed decisions about how we might want to change things.
Well, you know what would help me figure out if the Twins work or not? If I could move Victor, but after placing him, that'd be great. You know what would help me figure out if the Twins work? If I could switch from Victor to Charlotte and not have a black screen in front of my face. That would help me figure out how the Twins work. You know how it would help me if I figure out the Twins work when I switch from Victor to Charlotte, that she doesn't just lap the same animation over and over again and I can't do anything. You know what would help me figure out if the Twins work? If Victor could actually counterplay a tire. That'd be nice. How about you finish the character before telling me you're going to revisit them in a few months after we figure out how they work? You give me a complete product, I'll figure out how it works.
So you can expect that in the next full chapter release, there will be some tweaks and updates to the Twins 10.
All right. Gruber is asking, why has the meta been consistent for so long?
Why hasn't the meta changed more? Okay, this is something that I've talked about before here. I've talked about it on my DPIP squad videos. The devs don't ever, change the meta. Okay? They don't ever, change the meta. And as quick as something comes out that does change the meta, it gets called OP and quickly nerfed. Sometimes this is justified, aka Medal of Man. Medal of Man is what actually got me started on my huge killer tirade here, because that perk was such BS. Okay? But sometimes stuff is healthy for the game, as in Undying. Undying is the best meta shift this game has ever had. Most of the time, when the devs are unhappy with something in the meta, they attack it. They attack the meta. They don't let the meta grow and change organically through power creep. They attack the meta at the top and force it to change, because if you attack what's good, then sometimes they have to change what they're doing. Discordance is the biggest example. They attacked Discordance even though it was falling out of the meta anyway, and just booted it out of the meta. Ruin Undying was kind of making that style of play fall off to begin with. But now it's for sure just totally gone. The devs attack what's at the top. They don't build the bottom up. The devs do not know what they're doing. I think that is perfectly 100% clear. They don't have an understanding of how power creep works. And we've mentioned power creep before on this channel. So, I've seen this already, so I know they're about to go into a little bit of power creep. But we've talked about power creep before here on this channel and how the devs do not like it. They don't have to say, they're about to say they don't like power creep, okay? Now, I have said, you can check out my video about when they nerfed Discordance. It was clear to me back then that they don't like power creep. They are afraid of it. They don't like power creep because they don't want something OP and then you'll have an unfun experience when the meta shifts. The devs are quick to call a meta shift an unfun experience because they're very set in stone on what they want to be good. Okay? The devs want... The devs' idea, for the killers at least, for the survivors they can do whatever they want. That they don't care about what the survivors do. For the killers, it is clear that the devs want you to never attack the same person twice in a row after they get off hook. Okay, they don't want you doing that. They don't want you to camp. And so they don't want you camping or tunneling, essentially. And then they don't want hyper slowdown. Those are the three main things. They don't want everything in your build to be devoted to gen regression. Even though, make base regression better is what I want to say to that one. But those are the three things they don't want you doing. Unfortunately, hyper slowdown is almost meta. It's not really. But a lot of your build has to be dedicated to it. But the point is, we'll never see a lot of perks in that department because that directly tackles the meta. Okay? You know what? I'm just going to shut up and just let you hear what they say.
And why have you not tried to mix it up more?
All right, so this is a fairly complex issue. So to make sure that I don't get lost in what I'm trying to say, I'm going to just read my prepared answer here. Sorry, it comes off a little more boring when I do this. Okay, so we got two things. Number one, we aren't trying to make every new perk the best. That causes...
Well, you know what? That fucking shows. It very much shows that they're not trying to do that. Okay.
power creep, and then all of the newer perks...
Let me rephrase.
That causes power creep, and then all of the newer perks become the must-haves, and all the older ones fall into disuse. We don't really want to do that.
The devs say they don't want power creep in the game because it all the older perks fall out of use. Okay, so basically, instead of that, what they do is they release garbage, and then the stuff they release is immediately out of use. Then there's no reason to buy the product. Okay, power creep keeps games interesting. It keeps games developing. Look at Yu-Gi-Oh. Look at Pokemon. Look at what's another game that's had some power creep? Well, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the biggest example of power creep. Good God. Yu-Gi-Oh! Power creeps itself every set. TCGs are the biggest example. Pokemon is power crept itself. Smash. Well, Smash is a fighting game. Fighting game power creep doesn't really happen because every character gets adjustments in between matches and subs. DBD has a lot more in common with TCGs than a fighting game because DBD releases sets. They release perk sets, right? How card games release sets of new cards, right? DBD releases sets of new perks. So the way that DBD power creeps itself has a lot more in common with TCGs than it does with other fighting games. DBD is such a complicated game. It is. I'm not going to pretend that DBD has a lot in common with other games. It does. It has more in common with other games than you'd like to admit. But, the way that power creep affects this game is much more similar to a TCG and Pokemon than a traditional shooter or a fighting game. I don't think shooters really have power creep. But the point is, the devs do not want to power creep the game. Imagine, let's just say Yu-Gi-Oh! Said that. I don't know if anyone plays Yu-Gi-Oh! But let's just say that it's like, whoa, monsters can't have effects. That's OP. That's OP if monsters have effects. Because back in the day, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was really slow and everybody had the same fucking deck. Much like everyone has the same perk selection now at top level. Every Yu-Gi-Oh! Player was running the same deck. Summon Skull Beatdown. It was basically summon Skull as fast as possible and win the game that way. That's literally what Yu-Gi-Oh! Players were doing back in the day. Imagine if they didn't power creep that. It would be, wow, dude, he got his Summon Skull on the field. That's incredible. What a good play. Much like it now, where it's just, oh, he dead-hearted to the pallet. What a good play. It's just that over and over and over and over again. This is why the game gets boring. Power creep keeps games interesting. And to deny power creep's existence is to deny what keeps games evolving and denies what keeps them fun. That's why the game feels repetitive. That's why people are getting sick of it. Okay? Yu-Gi-Oh! Power creeps the shit out of itself every single time. There was effect monsters, and then there were synchros, which broke the game, but no one cared that the synchros broke the game. Because it's like, whoa, synchros are cool. It's like, if you want to keep playing this game, learn what a fucking synchro is. Learn what it does. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Hasn't died. And then it's like, oh, and then XCs came out, and they're debatably better. Castel, the Sky Blasting Musketeer, shits on synchros. But and then the pendulums came out, and then the links came out. I could keep going. I know I obviously know too much about Yu-Gi-Oh! But the point is, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has only stayed alive because of power creep. Magic: The Gathering does set rotation, where they literally shit the old stuff out. Now I'm not saying that that's what you should do either. I like the way Yu-Gi-Oh! Does it, where every card is legal at all times. Just like every perk is legal in DBD. Perks are like cards. That's pretty much what they are. They're like cards. But the point is, what I'm trying to say is that power creep is healthy for games. If to say that we don't want power creep in the game is what inherently creates an unhealthy environment where the top meta has no response, where the top meta has no answer. We create an environment where Dead Hard goes unchecked. We create an environment where Decisive Strike goes unchecked. And we create this environment because we don't allow power creep. We don't allow the meta to go in the game. We don't allow the meta to change. Unless, of course, let's say I'm keep going.
DLCs shouldn't be a must-have if you wish to stay competitive. They should be something that you want if you want to add that variety to what you have available. We'd rather give people more.
Well, you see, I disagree. This game is pay to win. Like, I'm sorry. It pretty much is. DLC shouldn't be a thing that you have if you want to win. Well, then why did you release Hex Ruin? Why did you release Hex Undying? The problem is, if you really... okay, DLC shouldn't be a thing to have if you want to stay competitive. Okay, well, here's the thing. Bruh. It is your choice on whether a DLC is accessible to a player or not. You choosing to make characters cost 9,000 shards is a bigger pain in the ass than having DLC cause power creep. The reason that people pay money for DLC is because they don't want to pay the time to get 9,000 shards. And then, of course, there are the licensed characters, which, you know what, the licensed characters, those are free to be. People will buy those anyway. But it's like, no one's going to mind handing you over money for Michael Myers. Like, for real. Like, these devs, we know we say these devs are really fucking greedy, but they do a good job of making it seem like they aren't they? It's like, you shouldn't have to buy the DLC if you don't want to. But, like, bruh, if you truly care about us not falling behind, like if you truly care about us, like, unlocking the DLC, how about you make it 4,500 shards instead of 9,000? How about that? Hell. Like, seriously. I am glad they offer an in-game option to purchase DLC at all. That is nice. But at the expense of the game's health? I don't know, bruh. See, that's the most complicated thing we've had so far. Because, like, the reason that the game is so unhealthy is the lack of power creep. And they're blaming the lack of power creep on that you shouldn't have to buy DLC. Okay? At the expense of the game's health, it requires new stuff to be added to it. Okay? And how about you buff? Like, here's the thing. Here, let them keep going.
More options and ways to play, and let them decide if they are worth switching builds for. Number two, we do change meta perks on a somewhat regular basis. Let's say Hex Ruin, the countless exhaustion changes, Medal of Man, etc. But we don't exactly...
We do change meta perks. Every perk you listed there was a nerf. Every single one. Ruin, nerf. Medal of Man, nerf. The exhaustion changes, nerfs. They they attack the meta, as I said before. Whenever something becomes too good, instead of like, whoa, let's actually bring something in the game to address that. Like, here's the thing. This is why I'm not against the Dead Hard nerf inherently, because I think if you were to add killers that cause exhaustion, maybe the exhaustion perks would fall out of favor. If you introduce new killers that can go, oh, every time Clown throws a bottle at me, I'm exhausted for 10 seconds, which Clown already can do that. But it's like, wow, Dead Hard's kind of a dead weight. Dead Hard's kind of a dead slot. I don't know if I want to run this. Or like, wow, Demogorgon Shred causes exhaustion with an add-on. Maybe Dead Hard isn't the answer. Maybe Dead Hard isn't the correct choice versus the Spirit. Well, no, it's just nerf Spirit. See, like whenever something comes out that counters the meta, it gets nerfed. And it becomes too impactful, too fast, it gets hit. Okay? Now, to be fair, they haven't touched Undying yet. What they said they say they might. The devs need to foster an environment of buffs. That's the healthiest way they can... If they really are worried about power creep, buff some of the perks in the game that everybody has access to that do nothing. Agitation, trash. Brutal strength, trash. What else is bad? All of Wraith's perks suck. Shadowborn, Predator, Bloodhound, do something with those perks. You have all the chances in the world to like power creep the game for free, but you choose not to. The meta is staying stagnant, and they're blaming oh, we touch meta perks. Yeah, you nerf the meta. You never create new meta through buffs, or rarely do you do it through implementation. The way that these people have fostered... I know I'm spending a long time on this, but this is very important. This is like why the game is so unhealthy. What Ethan just said, that we don't allow power creep, is why the game is unhealthy. It is why it continues to be boring and played out. Because it's unhealthy and they don't ever let it change. They are hesitant and resistant to any uncontrolled change. Okay? They want every change to be monitored for fun purposes. If the meta is too unfun, because it's not about what's good, it's about what's fun. If the meta becomes too unfun to go against, especially for survivors, it immediately gets addressed and immediately gets tweaked. It's bullshit. It's why the game is boring, and it's why killers get frustrated when they get more nerfs than they should. Especially when 4-man SWIP is the biggest thing that needs adjusted right now, and it's just not getting it.
Want to nerf something into the ground just for the sake of shaking up the meta, if the perk itself.
But we don't want to nerf something into the ground just for the sake of shaking up the meta. Well, don't. Buff something else to make it compete with the meta. You don't need to shake up the meta by nerfs. Their philosophy is, oh, this is meta, let's nerf it. Let's make it worse. How about you put something in that will challenge the meta? TCGs do this all the time, and it's why they're successful. And again, when you have a format when you have an implementation of DLC that operates similar to TCGs, where you give us 6 new cards every single time, essentially. That's what they are, they're cards. You give us 6 new cards with 6 new effects every time. Bruh. For God's sake, keep the game interesting.
Isn't causing any problems. That said, some people are going to run the same 4 perks every match because that's what works for them. Or because they saw a guy that told them it's a really good build. It'd be great if they do decide to switch it up. But if that's the way they enjoy the game, we don't really want to tell them no either.
Yeah, but when you're at the red ranks, you can't enjoy the match unless you're running these 4 perks, because they're the only 4 viable options that you have. But the thing is, like, you never know when you're going to meet a meta team or a meta killer. Okay? That's why, like, I'm not saying killers are the only ones here. Why would survivors go, oh, well, okay, survivors have more of a leeway. But why would the killer go, oh, I'm going to take off Ruin this game? Why would I want to take off Undying this game for, I don't know, what's a useless perk? Hangman's Trick. I'm going to take off Undying for Hangman's Trick. Yeah, said nobody ever, bruh. Said nobody ever. Because if you take off Undying for Hangman's Trick, you are putting yourself at a severe disadvantage because Hangman's Trick does nothing. And Undying does something. Like, I know you don't want to make every perk meta. Like, I mean, it's impossible. Not every perk can be meta by definition of what meta is. That doesn't mean you don't have to try to make them good. Like these Twins perks that just came out, garbage. Like, just garbage. Like, not only were those not going to be meta, they'll never see play. Like, who says, well, I'm going to run Gearhead this match? Okay, I said that one time because I don't have Undying yet on Freddy. So I have a weird slot where it's like, well, I have Ruin, Pop, Barbecue, but I don't have Undying yet. So I can throw on Gearhead for a game. Like, I actually ran Gearhead on Freddy. I mean, it didn't do anything for me, but it's like, yeah, I ran it. Stupid. Like, bruh, like, let other perks compete, and you can do that by watching my videos about how to buff all the survivor perks and all the killer perks. Everything I gave you is decent for some way, shape, or form. That's a perfect example on how to do it, those 2 videos.
We've got Ruin and Undying is supposedly everywhere. It's true that it's fairly common, but it's not as pervasive as just Ruin was before the update.
Well, that's good to hear.
But the Ruin change is already fairly well established, and Undying is only 3 months old. So we're, at the moment, investigating the synergy between those 2 perks. And
that's never good.
How common they are used together in matches, which at the moment is slowly climbing. So we may need to look at...
Well, of course it is. After you nerf Thana, Pop, and Discordance in the same chapter, I'm sure it is climbing. Because you left us with one viable choice.
Undying at some point in the future, but it's not a high priority thing yet because it doesn't seem to be affecting a very large proportion of our games.
Well, that's good.
All
so,
right.
Once everybody catches on, they're going to hit it. They're investigating the synergy. I told everyone before they came out that I was going to break the game and be good. And I was so happy with Undying, because Undying is what this game needs more of. Natural power creep that helps new stuff see more play. The Ruin change took Ruin out of the meta, and Undying brought it back in. That is inherently a healthy concept. Ruin was dog shit until Undying came to carry it. Facts.
The first-person animations all have to change.
Now this question here, I wanted to go into this one here. This is, any updates on the Blight's POV? Well, it's like, okay, well, that's not really important. I just want you to just listen to this. They're talking about fixing the Blight's camera. All right, just listen to this.
That's a lot of work. And the reason that work wasn't done earlier, even though it's high priority, is because the twins had 2 characters to animate, so the animation team has been slammed unbelievably for the last couple of months. So, yeah.
Okay, so what he just said was fixing the Blight's camera is a high priority. Okay, I mean, I really haven't had any problems with the Blight's camera. I don't know, I don't really understand that, because it's not the first time I've heard that Blight's camera's a little bit off. A bit wonky. It's a bit wonky, but like, it's just different. There's no problem with it. But like, the issue here is that this is a high priority thing that the team is wanting to focus on. They want to adjust it, but they're getting slammed by the twins. There's an issue with the Blight that they want to fix, but they're getting slammed with, are the twins done yet? Are the twins done yet? Are the twins done yet? Hey, are the twins done yet? Hey, okay, what are the twins? Of course, their overlords are in China, so it probably sounded something more like, ching chong bing bong, twins on bing bong. It probably sounded more like that. But like, the point is, like, these design teams are being rushed. They're clearly being rushed. Oh, they're being slammed because we want the twins to be done. How about you push the twins back and fix the Blight? Why do the twins have to come out in 4 months? Like, why do you have to set yourselves to why do you have to keep subjecting yourselves to a COVID-free schedule during a COVID pandemic? It doesn't make any sense. Everyone is going to be all right with you saying, hey, guys, that schedule we set before COVID-19 hit, yeah, we can't do that anymore. Because everyone's working from home, it's harder for the communication, it's just harder to do things, it takes a little bit more time. We can't do everything in 4 months, we're not going to have it on the same schedule. I don't think anybody would care. Fix the Blight first, and then do the twins, okay? Then we wouldn't be in a situation where the twins, Victor can't move with Victor, and everyone's falling through the floor, Billy's chainsaws are randomly overheating, and all the bugs currently in the game right now that are neglected. This game needs to slow down on the production of content. Like, blah. I like new content as much as the next guy. I like all the new killers, in theory. Like, the twins are very frustrating. But, like, everything is, in theory, fantastic. But the problem is it's not fleshed out. They really needed to flesh out the shit slinger more. They started rushing. I don't know when it was they started rushing. Whenever they started doing 4 a year, okay, it was alright. I mean, I thought Plague could have used... I think it really started with Plague, honestly. Plague is the first killer that when they released her, I'm like, I really wish they would have done more work here. Oh no, fuck the Plague. Legion. When Legion got in the game, like, and he fucking broke the game with his frenzy, it's like, bro, I really wish you sat down and play tested Legion more before you dropped him. I think that's the first time I was saying that, and that was when I first started playing the game. Like, bro, I really wish you sat down and fucking played the Legion before you dropped him. Frank's mixtape is horribly stupid. And then the Plague came out, she was weak. Ghostface came out, and thankfully PTB corrected that. And we were like, hey guys, Ghostface is really fucking bad. How did you not playtest him? And then Demo was weak, obviously. So, like, starting with Legion, it got really, really bad. And is that when they started doing 4 a year? I think that's interesting. Was that their first year of doing 4? That's something I'll have to look up, because everybody, like, Legion after has been rough. Oni being the best, of course. But, I digress. Let's move on.
We're getting that out as soon as we can. It's unbottlenecked now that the twins are out. There are still a few animation issues for them to clean up on the twins, so that's why we can't really say exactly when the Blight will be finished. But it's coming.
Okay, so, like, the twins are out. Now they gotta finish the twins. Like, the twins aren't even done yet. So, like, we're now in a ludicrous scenario where the twins are out, and they're horrendous garbage. Just terrible. The bugs are unreal. And then the Blight's not even done. So they gotta fix the twins, and then the Blight. They're doing all this shit. They're fixing this, fixing that, fixing Billy's chainsaw, fixing the Oni, fixing the Legion, fixing... Who else is broken? Clown, fixing Freddy. They're doing all of this fucking shit, and this is gonna stop them from producing the next DLC content, which is gonna be out in what? March? January, February, March? That range, March. So the next DLC content comes out in March. Do you think that DLC content is going to be ready? That's my question. Do you think that content is going to be ready? We have to fix the Legion, we have to fix the Blight, we have to fix the Twins, and we have to fix the Oni, we have to fix the Hillbilly, we have to fix the Spirit, we have to fix the Huntress, we have to fix this, fix that, fix this. Myers needs an add-on overhaul. Demogorgon needs this. Demogorgon needs that. Ghostface needs this. Clown needs this. Doctor needs adjustments. Trapper still needs something. Wraith needs getting updated. They're doing all of this shit. That next killer is going to be as bad as the Twins are right now. Because we need to slow down. We need to slow down. The new killer should be postponed until summer. That's facts. We should be doing 2 killers a year. A summer killer for the... We should be doing a summer killer for the anniversary of the game. And then we should be doing a Halloween killer to celebrate Halloween. That's what we should be doing. We should be doing a Halloween killer and an anniversary killer. Every single year, that's what it should be. We need to clean, and then the rest of the year, we clean up everything else. We clean up the Demogorgon. And then, like, here's the thing. You can have 2 new killers, in the Halloween killer, and then we have the anniversary killer. And then every other month where you drop new killers, that's where you plop the reworks in. So it's like, okay, the clown rework would come out in March. Okay, well, obviously, the clown rework, you have no date for the clown rework. Clown rework comes out in March. Instead of getting a new killer, you get the clown rework. Then you get the new killer in summer. And then for the, I guess the new killer should come out in December for Christmas, because that doesn't leave them a lot of time. So then, okay, so new killer summer, and then October, you get a rework. So that would be, who'd they say, Demogorgon. Demogorgon would be getting reworked next October. Okay, then... After that, new killer for December. Then after that, you get, who they would say, did they say, just Wraith. You get the Wraith rework in, obviously the Wraith, I think, is just getting a small change. He's not getting a total rework. But you know what I'm saying. You set yourselves to a schedule where you do 2 reworks a year, and then 2 killers. And then, debatably, after it's done, you should never go back to 4 killers a year again. You should do 3. Just a quality of life. So just replace some of the focus on the new content to the quality of life. It's not that difficult.
Map RNG be improved specifically about dead zones.
Map RNG be improved specifically about dead zones. Yeah, because that's what I'm worried about. Not the 12 million tiles that spawn next to each other. Not the long wall into shack in the main building, into like, not that shit. Just the dead zones for the survivors. Yeah.
All right. Well, I do have an answer here, courtesy of our level design guru, which is that we are going to be implementing a formula similar to what happened with the Springwood level design rework.
Oh boy, every map will be just as good as Springwood. Badham is so good.
Essentially, what's going on here is that using the old systems, the number of pallets on a map is mostly determined by which tiles spawn. So essentially, the logic is on like a per tile basis, mostly. And our newer...
The number of pallets determined by what tile... Like, at what point do you just go, okay, the map RNG is kind of ridiculous. How about we just even it out and make every map consistent every single match? Like, at what point do you say this is just getting ridiculous and not focus on it anymore? That's my question. At what point do you say that? Like, for real, dude. Just truly wretched. At what point do you just say, this mechanic is a bad mechanic, it is costing us money, it is costing us time, let's just do one final adjustment on the maps and then leave it. The reason you have to fix the maps so much is that they're inconsistent. Because this mechanic has cost them so much money. And they don't even know it. They would save so much money if they just got rid of this mechanic. For real.
The system has more consistency across the entire map.
The system has more consistency across the entire map. Why not just do a full consistent map every single match? The same map every single time. Why not just do that? Like, it's obvious that the players want consistency because you're telling them it has more consistency as a means of making them happy. The map has more consistency, guys. Isn't that great? Well, why not just make the map fully consistent every single time and then not touch it unless a balance issue comes up? That's my question.
Which should hopefully help eliminate dead zones. And just to be clear, this is not part of the graphical update. there's a bit of a separation between gameplay updates to the maps and the visual updates to the maps.
That is completely false. Okay, I'm sorry, McLean. That is completely false. When you are introducing breakables to the maps, that inherently affects how the gameplay works. Because you bring infinites back into the game. Okay? That changes the way killers patrol the map. That changes the way, like, a killer's like, oh, I gotta go break this now. I gotta spend 20 seconds breaking this before I even chase a survivor. All this stuff is inherently changing the gameplay because you change the tiles with the breakable walls. Okay? Not every tile is changed. Not every tile is different. But, like, these graphical updates, because they're adding breakable walls, are inherently changing structures and changing the gameplay and changing how you run them. 100%. The removal of a pallet inside of the gas heaven changes how it works. I'm sorry, it just does.
And I know that they sometimes come together and they sometimes don't.
Sometimes come together. They do every single time.
It can be a little bit confusing. So this thing for dead zones is not going to be necessarily attached to a visual update to any particular map.
They need to address the opposite. They address the survivor side, but not the killer side. But keep telling me that they're killer sided, guys. Yeah, they literally address the survivor complaint, but not the killer.
While we're when can we expect Victor's animation for lockers?
Yeah, this one is coming in an upcoming patch. I do not have an exact date.
Then why take the question? Okay, but okay, that's okay. Beside the point. Until that goes in, they should leave the bug where Victor can attack lockers in, because that corrects the balance issue. That bug is correcting the balance issue more than this animation ever will.
And this is also tied to the fact that there was a lot more animation on this release. So, yeah, that explains it, but it is coming.
Yeah, a lot more animation that our Chinese overlords made us do before we could even flesh it out correctly. Gotta pay our bills to China. Bruh, is behavior run like the Chinese government? Just a quick question.
Passerino T. I'm gonna restart that. Joe by Daylight's asking, what map or realm will we rework next?
Hey guys,
So,
what realm are we reworking?
But on social media, we've been showing up some work in progress and also some teasers about the upcoming maps. So keep an eye on social media because we're not ready to announce that today.
Okay, then why take the fucking question? Like, for real. Like, how many times are we going to be saying that? Why take the fucking question, guys? It's awful.
That's all I have to say on that one. Alright, Dabby Wow... Stay on that one. Alright, Dabby Wow is asking, can we get a teaser for the changes coming to the clown?
Clown buffs.
So, the answer is...
Yes.
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 The following footage is a work in progress. What you may see may not be final and may change. Seriously, if this changes, actually, if you say this video is misleading, I'm going to show you that this is side. It's going to be really embarrassing for you. Wow, they must be about to see something really interesting. Oh. Wow. The gas gradually expands over time. That's a nerf. The very first thing you see on clowns is a nerf, ladies and gentlemen. The gas gradually expanding over time is a nerf. I'm sorry, guys. There's no other way to say that. That's a nerf. Awful. Okay. And then he does this. So a different color gas. All we know about that is this means a different effect. That's what we could imply. Okay, so the different colors in gas is something that we've been suggesting for a while. Okay, this could mean that the survivor steps... This could mean one of two things. Debuffs for whoever steps through the gas for a certain amount of time, or it could even mean that the clown goes faster. Instead of the survivors, like clown goes faster, survivors get debuffs. And there could be even more than one color variation, so that's interesting. That's interesting. Although we don't know anything besides that, we just know that he's getting a new form of gas. That could be a super gas cloud that hinders you more.
Alright, so,
Cool.
just to make sure, that it is understood, this was a what? This was a work in progress
Uh-huh.
and can change.
Good.
But we're gonna let you guys speculate on what that means because basically, we want to see what you think about that.
Well, it's like, why are you smiling, Not Queen? There's not much to analyze there. It either applies additional debuffs to the survivors and makes the clown move faster. Like, what the hell else could it mean? Like, whoa, it's so impressive. Like, bruh, you didn't even tell us anything. All you showed us was that they like, like, bruh, what else could that mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm just bad at speculating, but
So that's just a tease, actually, of what's coming.
I don't know. There's not much to be happy for.
Oh yeah, there it is. You guys are not disappointing in chat today.
Good old chat.
Yep. All right, Freddy and Q buff, because I know that this is something we talked
Solo Q buff is next.
about like a while ago, and trying to make sure that.
So what we've been doing here, what we've all been requesting here is a solo Q buff and an SWF nerf to kind of even the two out.
Solo survivors would get like a fun time as well. So
Yeah. So what we're not interested at the moment is different game rules for people playing in groups versus people playing solo.
Oh.
So we're talking about more subtle things.
Okay, so definitely they just totally rejected my idea of the perk pool, which is sad because I think the perk pool would be a very good way to nerf SWF and not affect the solo queue. I think that's really bad. I think that's horrible that they're not interested in changing the game rules for groups versus non-groups. And what I mean by that is like the perk pool would be a thing that you can't stack perks. You each have to pick a different line of perks. So that way you can't stack 2 borrow times, you can't stack 2 DSs, 4 DSs, etc. Like you can't be doing that if you're going to be a 4-man Swift. You can't stack 4 dead hearts. Like you can't do that. I think that would be fantastic. And I think that a part of that the communication combined with stacking the meta is completely ridiculous. And the fact that they're not going to address that means that whatever they're deciding isn't really going to work.
One knob that can be used for this is matchmaking, but more specifically, we've had a sort of a design philosophy that anything we can do to reduce the gap, especially in information between groups and solo players, is something that we would like to follow.
I agree with that.
For example, the way that the Demogorgon shows the aura of the portal that they're working on to other survivors to sort of like invite them to help.
Yeah, so they can go help, so you both can go make a mistake. So you both could go make a mistake. Wow. Wow, handy, McLean.
That kind of thing is something we try to keep in mind as we design for the game. To try to slightly.
Yeah, that's why the twins give off map-wide noise cues.
Reduce the gap.
That way, you all can know who the killer is.
Group players and solo players.
all right.
So really nothing. So that answer was nothing. So basically, no kindred base, no nerf to SWF to kind of even the two together. Because a nerf to SWF is a buff to solo queue because it makes the idea more appealing. But no kindred base, which is what solo queue desperately needs. They answered nothing there. Completely useless answer.
Snake sound 322. Will our for example, oppression versus pop, surge versus overcharge, and
revisit some of the perks.
Thrill of the hunt.
All right, so I have a prepared answer again because this is something that I might get lost in if I try to just wing it, so I'm not going to wing it. Sorry. The perks mentioned have different triggers and functions, so I totally agree with the assertion that the new perks are just better versions of the old perks.
Well, of course you can't. You can't agree with that because then your answer about power creep looks really fucking stupid, bruh. Even though Undying actually did power creep Thrill of the Hunt out, it's fine.
Oppression makes several gens regress, while Pop adds loss of progression to a damage generator event. So oppression is saving you the trouble of running around damaging several generators.
Yeah, oppression's saving you so much trouble, except when it doesn't because it's bad. Pop helps you win games, oppression doesn't. That's the difference.
To start them regressing, while Pop is giving you an instant reduction in a single generator's progress where you are. Surge makes several gens in an area lose progress and start regressing, but Overcharge booby traps a single gen for when the survivor hits it. So those, again, are quite...
Just not... Surge and Overcharge is really weird, because Surge and the only thing those two perks have in common is that they're bad. They don't help you win games. Neither one helps you win games. They're both completely useless.
Separate functions. Undying makes destroyed hex totems shift position, which kind of protects your totem, but Thrill of the Hunt makes it take longer to cleanse any totem. That includes dull totem.
That is the one I really wanted to focus in on, because Almo is once again proving that he has no understanding of the game. You don't run Thrill of the Hunt by itself, bruh. You run Thrill of the Hunt, you always ran Thrill of the Hunt to protect your hexes. That's what you run Undying for. So Undying is directly competing with Thrill of the Hunt. The only two hexes that are protected by Thrill of the Hunt better than Undying are Lullaby and Devour Hope, because they have tokens. Since they have tokens, that means they're useless with Undying. The other one, I guess, is Noed, which I believe he's about to mention, but Noed is garbage and shouldn't be even meant... Like, Noed's bad. Like, don't even run Noed, it's shit.
So even if you run just Thrill of the Hunt and nothing else, Thrill of the Hunt will protect Noed, for example, while Undying will protect them. But it's not.
But Undying protects Noed at the end of the game if it triggers an Undying still standing. So there's that. There's that juicy little nugget.
For a function, it helps you keep them for the vision. So I think really what's going on is we're working at creating perks that are in different spaces. Even though they may seem on the surface to have similar functions, they occupy different niches in both trigger and what kind of...
But, like, who's running Oppression for the apply basic regression to perk on the other side of to the generator on the other side of the map niche? Like, that's just so garbage, and it's specific and useless that, like, that's not even worth it. Perks occupy a chase niche, a gen regression niche, and then a tracking niche. Those are the three main niches: tracking, chase, gen. If you have nothing to do with any of those, you're bad. And it doesn't even have to do with any of those. It's that you have to also... Specifics. For example, Hoarder's a tracking perk, but it only works when you search a chest. Bad, because it's that specific. Something like Whispers, which is more generic, helps you the entire match, not when somebody just searches through a chest. That's why they made Discordance bad when they made it more and more specific. They have to be 2 survivors on a gen, and they have to be within a range now. Okay, they just made Discordance worse because they made it more specific. It's not as generic, so it's bad. And then there's the other niche is bad. So, like, okay, the gen regression, you have Pop and Ruin. Okay, those are your two main perks that are helping deal with the generators at this moment. Corrupt Intervention, I guess, as well. Okay, Overcharge versus Ruin is not a discussion. Like Overcharge booby tapping the gen, what niche does that fall under? Tracking or gen stall, or kind of both, but it sucks at both. So, like, that's why it's both, because it sucks at both of them. I don't know what he's even saying here. The fact that there are 3 main niches of perks, okay? And this clown here, not understanding that if a perk doesn't fall into one of these 3 niches, it's trash, shows you he doesn't know anything about the game. Which is I've been saying about him forever. He knows actually nothing about this game.
Function, they give you, like, Oppression saving travel time, as opposed to Pop just giving you a chunk of...
Saving travel time. Is that what Oppression does, bruh?
Lost progress. So I'm not sure I agree with that assessment.
Oh, I'm sure you don't, Ethan, because it makes you look really stupid.
Alright, Filled Pizza and Midwich will be graphically reworked.
Larry's Saloon and Midwich be updated.
Yeah. We are not currently planning to update them in the same push as the other maps. I think they're pretty neat.
Also, we're focusing mainly on, like, very old realms to make sure that we're bringing that to a more up-to-date standard.
Notice they're talking about a graphical update, okay? They're talking about a graphical update, okay? When someone's asking about Larry's, Dead Dog Saloon, and Midwich, and they're talking about an update for those maps, they're definitely not talking about graphics. They're talking about balance. All 3 of those maps, especially Larry's and Midwich, have a severe balance issue. Dead Dog also has a balance issue, but it's not as bad as Midwich and Larry's. Okay? Midwich and Larry's have a critical survivor-favored balance issue. When someone's asking about updating those maps, they're definitely not talking about the graphics, you fucking retards. They're talking about the fucking balance issues that exist. I know you guys don't ever play the game, so you don't know how bad these maps are. And if you do play the game, you're low-level trash. Except for McLean, who is purple rank. But like, the question flew over his head too, so, man, I guess, see, McLean's small-brained in some aspects, I guess, but they're talking about balance. These people want to know about the balance changes. We could give 2 fucks about the graphics. Everything could be a stick figure, and if the game played well, it wouldn't matter. The graphics can suck my ass, bruh.
And that's the main priority for the graphical update.
It's not about the graphics, bruh. They're putting words in the guy's mouth. They're putting words in his mouth. He didn't say anything about graphics. Stop putting words in his mouth, bruh. I mean, they obviously wanted to just dodge the question and say no because they're trying to ignore the balance issues. But they're putting words in the guy's mouth. It's easier to just not address the question if you're gonna dodge it and dance around it.
Can of air.
Stupid. Freddy changes.
Yes, indeed. So, we do have an update in the works for Freddy.
Aw, shit! Here we go again.
Cannot yet tell you what it is. However, as we've released the stats for more than a year now, Freddy has been pretty firmly on top.
Yeah, because Freddy's definitely the best character in the game.
Enough that it has, it really has gotten our attention. So there is something coming for Freddy.
Okay, so Freddy's gonna get nerfed into the ground. Okay, so Freddy's about to be bad again. You had your run, Kruger. Good job. Back to the bottom of the tier list you go, buddy. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, guys. Hey, by the way, Freddy's on all platforms now, but we're about to make him trash. Yeah, Freddy's garbage. They're about to destroy Freddy again. I'm sure.
Me too.
Can't wait for that, bruh. You had your run, Kruger.
Perks for a weekend to see how necessary they are in their current form, much like the Bloodlust experiment.
Good stuff, bruh. My man Paladin Goo asking about canceling exhaustion for a weekend. Nice work, bruh.
Oh, did I skip one again? No, I
Nope.
think that was you. Sorry.
Okay.
Wait for it.
No. Okay. So,
Ding dong.
with the exhaustion perks, we wouldn't have to disable exhaustion to test it, because we can quite easily go into our data and cull a whole bunch of games that don't have exhaustion perks in them and see what the difference is. And if you see a huge escape rate with exhaustion perks relative to non-exhaustion perks, then you know you have a balance problem.
Completely disagree with that. Because if you don't disable the exhaustion perks, the players that really need to be tested without them will continue to run them. Anyone that's not running an exhaustion perk right now isn't really a threat. Okay? Obviously, I know Thasner, if you're watching, Thasner has a healing build, but my point is 90% of players run these perks. Like, I believe 96% was Dead Hard, right? You're not going to be able to test those players running Dead Hard at 96% unless you take Dead Hard out. Like, I'm not going to ever remove Dead Hard until they make me. I'm not going to take it out. I'm like out my Survivor perk. I'm just not going to do it. You'll never see me running without it because it's just such a vital perk, bruh. And the people that need to be tested are the ones that can run it every single match. You can't identify what's a crutch for people if you never make them remove it. Okay? So not forcing it, like the people like that really need to be tested are the people like me that have it on every single game whenever we run it. Whenever we play Survivor. Dead Hard's on every single game. Like, I'm not saying I'm the best Survivor in the world. I'm average. I acknowledge that. And if I lose Dead Hard, my big chunk of my chase time goes away. But that's my point, though. And people like me will never remove it for a weekend unless you make it. The real reason that they're not going to do it is because if you do that, the babies won't play. The difference between the killers and the survivors is the killers said, okay, let's see how bad this is. Just like we do every single day when we put the game in. The survivors just straight up won't play if you take the exhaustion out for a weekend. That's why they're not going to do it. Straight fucking facts there.
We haven't seen anything that looks like this at the moment, but if we did want to do a deeper analysis on it, we would not have to do a full experiment on it.
I
Try
completely disagree with that. Completely disagree with that.
head on from my cold dead hands. Also, I can guarantee you it doesn't help me to escape.
Well, fucking Knock Queen, again, Knock Queen proving she knows nothing about the game. You will not pry head on from my cold dead hands, but head on doesn't help me escape. Of course head on doesn't help you escape. It's the worst exhaustion perk by far. And it just gets the killer irritated at you. Okay? Of course head on doesn't help you escape, you fucking dumb bitch.
I mostly get tunneled after it.
Yeah, duh.
Anyways, on that.
Ignorant bitch.
Luminous is asking,
Community manager.
is there any update on key and or Mori changes?
Any updates on
and
Kia
is there any
Moris?
TA you're able to give us?
You are muted.
Yeah, you're
Keys
right.
and Moris,
I
bro.
did the old thing. Sorry. The answer to the first question is yes. The answer to the second question is no.
So first question was update on key and or Mori. Yes.
Yes? Alright.
Second question was ETA. No. So thank you. Louis.
There
all
any-
right.
Oh, we're just gonna move on? We're not gonna go into it? Why take the question? If you're not going to answer it, why take it? They do this every single time. Is there an update to the Key and More changes? Yeah, we got an update. Let's move on now. Terrible. Like, fucking hone in on these issues and tell us what we fucking want to hear. You'd think that they do something special for us this time after just fucking killing the game with the last update. You'd think they'd tell us something like, hey guys, the Key and the Mori changes are this, this, and this. So hopefully they won't be as bad. But, like, they did nothing, bro. This should not have been... They did not need a standard Q&A here. They needed to do something spectacular here, and they just didn't. This is so average. It's literally boring.
So Fleshtown is asking on Twitter, when will plans to adjust the emblems? Because
Emblems.
killer's a bit harder to rank up at the moment.
Well, yeah, but that's not the only issue.
Yeah, so in the long term, there is a plan to adjust emblems. It's worth mentioning that a switch over to MMR for matchmaking would probably necessitate changes to emblems.
That can't get here fast enough, bro. Can't wait till the emblem system is just fucking dead.
In the long term. In the short term, it's worth mentioning that there was an issue identified with the Devout emblem, possibly specific to the twins. This came up a lot for players who were attempting to get the Adept Twins achievement. Know that it's not you. There is an issue that is sometimes causing that emblem to not report enough survivor hooked points.
So is that why I get silver in that every time when I feel like I shouldn't have? Because there were some games where I was playing them and I'm like, I only have a silver in hooking? Like, that doesn't feel right.
And we are on
So
that
yeah, okay, so
It's
that's
funny
a
because
bug.
on the opposite for me, I find it a little harder on Survivor to rank up than Killer.
That's because you have no friends, Not Queen, and you don't play SWF. But, okay, the point... Well, see, that's... Well, actually, though, to be fair, that's actually interesting, though. Because here's the thing, okay? The two roles can't pip for different reasons. Survivors can't pip because they win the game too fast. Facts. If you play SWF, you know that the only reason you're not pipping is that the game is ending too fast. Because the balance of the game is so horrendous and so awful that the survivors literally win the game in 4 minutes and there's not enough time. And when the survivors are winning, rip the altruism. You're never even going to see a hook. So that's not even going to happen. So, like, yeah. So the survivors don't pip because the game ends too fast. The killers don't pip for very specific reasons specific to them. Myers and Bubba and Plague, bad chasers because of the instant downs that they do. Plague with the corruption, with the corrupt purge, Bubba with the chainsaw, Myers with tier 3. They don't see a lot of chases. Billy, they don't see a lot of chases. The twins have a specific issue to them where they can't pip because when the game reads you as camping, when you are patrolling with Victor and Charlotte still near the hook. The game reads you as camping, takes off a lot of points to your damn chaser emblem. Killers can't pip for character-specific reasons. Okay, that's the issue with killers. Survivors can't pip because they win too fast. Both of these issues expose the fact that the system needs to be controlled and ran by MMR. Straight fucking facts. Both of these issues will be corrected once the MMR system goes in. Okay? Every issue you have with the emblem system gets corrected by MMR. Like, I always love watching on social media all the posts about, man, the emblem system really sucks. And I'm like, yeah, well, why can't the emblem system work like this? And I've said, yeah, MMR works like that. I don't know why we had to fucking delete it. But MMR works like that, pal. Don't bitch it out next time. It's just really funny to me. But yeah, the emblems obviously need adjusting. So it's good that they have that knowledge at least.
That's just a personal.
Well, it's the same for me. I rank up bots faster on killer. But it's going to be different.
Well, yeah, it's easy when you're rank 9, Ethan. It's easy when you're rank 9 and going, wow, Clown's underrated. It's really easy when you're a green rank, you fucking tool.
Everybody depending on their playstyles.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
it's harder for different people depending on their playstyles because we punish stuff we don't like. Facts. We punish survivors winning the game and gen rushing as much as we punish killers that camp. So yeah, it's depending on your playstyle, as in if you do the meta or you secure a kill at the hook, we'll make sure that you fucking die.
Genzo Crow appear above survivor who don't work on generator for X amount of
AFK
time
crows for
to
survivors.
prevent them from taking the game hostage.
This is a detailed game design question.
Oh, Jesus.
And so I'm going to try to answer it in detail. In principle, it would be nice to prevent hostage games in any way possible, because that always sucks to get in a game where it's being held hostage. But how much time is it okay to not work on a generator? Is it 10 seconds? Is it a minute? Is it 2 minutes? I mean, I've been in a few games where I didn't touch a gen for, I don't know, 5 minutes, but I was still active. I was doing totems. I was rescuing people. I was healing people. And we weren't not doing generators just
This is such a stupid answer, okay? What he's doing, let me tell you what he's doing. He is abusing the wording on the question, okay? He's abusing the wording on the question. The question says, have you considered making AFK crows appear when the survivors don't touch generators? Okay? What this killer, because this is a killer, what this killer is frustrated about is the situations when there's 2 survivors left, he wants the 4K, but can't because they're taking the game hostage by not doing anything. Okay? That's what he is referring to, okay? Because, and you can't ever find the survivors because they're halfway across the map, not even near the gens. So it's just it's boring, slow. Game takes 45 minutes. Okay, the issue here is that what Ethan is saying is, well, I've been in games where I haven't touched gens for a while because I was making rescues and I was doing totems and I was busy. Bruh, that's not what he's saying. He's saying don't touch generators. Don't touch generators implies non-inactivity. It implies you not being active. That's what he's talking about. He's not, it's the wording on the question. You were abusing the word generators and working on generators. Obviously, an AFK crows are not going to peer over your head if you're fucking making rescues and stuff and you're active, okay? Obviously. That's so, like, blatantly obvious to anyone that has ever played killer and been in this situation. Again, when your name is Almo and Ethan, when your name is Ethan and you haven't played killer enough to know about this, it's very blatant that you don't understand the game, okay? Now, obviously, the AFK crows wouldn't appear over you in that situation, okay? Obviously, when you make a save or you do a totem or something like that, it would reset the timer as well, okay? So, like, 2 minutes, the timer, let me answer your question, genius. The correct answer is 2 minutes of not doing anything. 2 minutes of not touching a generator, not touching a generator, not doing a totem, not making a rescue. If you don't do any of those things, or healing, I guess healing your teammate can count too. It's something that progresses the game. If you don't do something that progresses the game for 2 minutes, then the birds appear. Have you ever played Identity V? You're butt fucking buddies with China now. Someone give you a copy of Identity V and show you how it works, fucker. Identity V literally does this. If the survivors don't do anything, they get AFK crows, deservingly so. For you to abuse the wording on the question, to not give an accurate response, makes me fucking sick. You piece of fucking crap. Fucking facts.
Hold the game hostage. It's that the killer was applying a lot of pressure, but was having trouble killing us. So, this system could potentially be abused if we were to do this.
No,
like,
you wouldn't.
If you tap a generator, does that reset the timer? So you could just tap a generator every 5 minutes and then not be considered holding it hostage?
Well, obviously, you'd make them not have to do it. You would have to be hooking would resetting it, doing a totem would resetting it. The generator, you'd obviously have to spend a little bit more time on it to reset it. It would be a complex thing that you'd have to pay a little bit of money to do and to implement correctly. I'm sure you don't want to do that, but you know, it's okay if you don't want to spend the money, Ethan. I mean, I'm sure this chapter didn't make him a whole lot of money, so I can't imagine why, but you're a fucking piece of shit.
Let's say that doesn't work. So you've picked up some crows because you haven't been repairing for 5 minutes. How long do you have to repair to get rid of those crows? Is it 30 seconds? Is it 10 seconds?
And obviously, if the killer hits you, then the crows go away.
Does this present killers with a new way to find survivors, keep them off the chip?
Of course it does, and as it should, because late game tracking is so fucking bad. And if you don't understand why killers need a late game tracking buff, you don't play killer. Oh, Ethan, implying he doesn't play killer with an answer? No fucking way. Deja vu. I've just been to this place before.
Until they get their no repair crows, and now you can find them because of the crows.
Yeah.
It's not that it's necessarily an incorrect feature.
Of course it's not an incorrect feature. Of course it's not an incorrect feature.
Because if you don't repair for this much time, you get crows.
Well, yeah, exactly. I know it's not as simple. And you abuse the wording of the question to dodge it. And you are a fucking asshole that should be ashamed for doing so. Okay, that's pretty much it. So after all that, what did we learn? Pretty much nothing. The biggest takeaways from this are Freddy's getting nerfed, the Clown is getting buffed, Huntress is getting an add-on overhaul, and the demo's getting buffed. That's pretty much all you need to know. All the rest of this, garbage. Okay? It's just a bunch of trash that proves that the devs don't know what they're doing. Alright, my throat hurts. I'm getting some water. These devs are fucking awful. I'm done.